Actually, the origin of the film is different from the, the desire of the film. I didn't want to make a... I was a writer, and I'm still a writer for other directors. So I was studying at film school in France and studying script writing. But for the diploma, we had to write by ourselves a script and not co-write a script with someone. So it turns out to be more personal because I was just by myself and no imagination. So making something that would really look like me. And then at the end of that, I had a script that the producer just looked at, and he convinced me, I'd been maybe waiting for 5 seconds before saying, yes, I want to do it. But he convinced me to make it as a director. So it was the origin of the film. And the desire of the film was that I really wanted to say something about what's happening when you don't have the same emotions than the others. And I feel sometimes I'm really disgusted by the system of emotions that I see in life, in films, and I could not relate to that. I could not identify to this system. So Belly Pin was born from this project. As a writer, you imagine all the film, the light, the sound, the music. Those things are just part of the writing to me. So it was not that difficult to translate that into words for a crew. It was not difficult that. The difficult point is about not being just 2 people or 1 people, but being 40 people. It creates a difference in the way you approach it. Usually people say, all the stories can make a good film, even those that have been told forever, even the most basic love stories could become a great film. And in a way, I agree with this vision. But now that I made one, I really think that cinema is not connected to all the stories. It has something to do with the spectacular writing, the actors, and so this is the first thing. And the second thing is that we have to tell certain stories in 2011 that are not the same stories that 30 years before or maybe in 20 years. And we have to find those stories for cinema. So what interests me is everything that could be I formulate it with the word deserve it. Something deserves to be told. Something deserves to be seen. Something deserves to be convocating all those persons to see your film and talking to so many people and raising so much money. So this is a kind of responsibility, and all the stories doesn't deserve this responsibility. It's pretty arrogant to think that when you make films. My sister works in the economy field, and she works for alternative economy. And I feel that this is the only job that could save the world. So cinema doesn't save it. Cinema doesn't change this conception of the world we're living in. But I totally agree on the fact that films change yourself. It's a super cliche to say that, but I feel I should say it very naively, and I'm not afraid of it. It just changes the way you see yourself, and so the way you see the society you're living in. And for instance, it's just a documentary of the world to me. Not because it's the naturalistic part of the cinema, but just because I learned maybe 80% of what I know through cinema. And literature a little bit, reading books and watching films. So that it's the way I know the few things I know. It's the way I can talk to you in Mexico and feel that because I saw 2 Mexican films, Daniel Iana from Michel Franco, and maybe 10 years ago, Amores Perros. All those films made me feel that I had a connection to the Mexican society, although it's just been like 24 hours I'm here. So yes, I think it changes something in me and in the way I relate to the world.